Anyone there? Sorry about that. Bloody OBS. Let me know when you get there. OBS popped up with a stream key issue. It's done this once before from time to time. Had problems with OBS this morning. I cranked it up to do the stream and it popped up and with an update, so I chose yep, go ahead and do the update, and then it said that the OBS had crashed, and because the update was waiting for OBS to close and OBS wasn't closing, so I crashed it, and then I reopened OBS. Reopened OBS, went to do the update again, it couldn't close OBS and just sat there trying to do the update, so I crashed it out again, and then I just ignored the update, and I wonder whether that had an effect. I don't know. Pain though. Yeah, so I'm a bit nervous about removing this RAM. Oh, I wonder if I just jumper it. I wonder if I just jumper it to say there's no RAM. That's worth a try, isn't it? I can't imagine that would do any damage. Let's just try that. And then I don't have to go pulling it out. So I have jumpered it already. Most of the time we'll be dealing with this bloody Molex connector. I'm going to have to deal with this. Oh dear. Yeah, it's actually pushing this pin right out. I'm going to have to deal with that. Oh. Mr. Whippy. Mr. Whippy's going to have his bloody work cut out for him today. A grey old miserable day. That's going in the bin. See you later. I'll add a couple of these on here to make it a bit easier so I don't have to disconnect it every time I take it out. Are you going to go in there? Yep, you are. Okay, that's good. Right, plenty of room there now. Plenty of length on those cables. Better. Okay. Right, so I've got that jumper to no RAM. No, that's the hard card. Yeah, they go in with a bit of a clunk. I wouldn't say it was violently installed. Is it going to boot? How much RAM do I have? Hopefully none, apart from the 1 meg chip. Yeah, 0 other memory. So let's double check that. Yeah. See how much slower it is without the accelerator in it? You do need to be quite forceful with these things. No memory. Memory's not working. Anyway, I can see there that it's got 0 other memory. It's got 205 chip RAM, 205,000 K, so basically just under a quarter of a meg free. Right, so if I chuck this card in here, the accelerator, should be able to sneak it in without disconnecting that hard drive power cable now. This will be interesting. It's one meg total. So that was 256k free, or what was it? 200k free, just over. I'm not even sure it's going to boot now. No, it's not booting. Nope, doesn't like that. It doesn't like it at all. I wonder if it's because the actual physical memory is still there in the hard card. But I'm not removing that. It's mechanically scary. It's just trying to think of a way I can do it. But I think what I really need to do now is just remove the gold RAM, set the jumper, and reset this jumper to J5. Get our 4 megs of RAM back on the hard card. Remove this. Remove this RAM here, gold RAM. Set jumper J5, and this is the stable configuration. At least I think it's from my testing. It seems to be fairly stable, but probably just need to use it for a little bit. See how we go. So we're back to where it was this morning, or last night when I had it working. If the bloody thing doesn't work now, I'll be pissed off. Oh, looks like I've got most of my viewers back. Thanks guys for hanging in there. Just had a issue with OBS being a pain. So if we have a look at the system now, we should see we've got 8 megs. You can see it up the top there. This is free memory. So we've got, you know, 811K of chip RAM free, and 7.1 meg of fast RAM. Eight meg fast RAM and 1 meg of chip total. Speed, make sure I can tell the accelerator's working. You can tell just using Workbench. Yep, there we go. Bit faster than an A3000. Sounds good to me. I'll show you something else though. If I boot off the analyzer disk or reboot, the thing I noticed too is now that this seems to be behaving itself, you know, I was complaining that the 3-finger salute wasn't working. Control Omega for the warm boot. It works every time now. I don't have any problems with it. That's something. Right, so you can see the current address counting up there. This will fail. And this is what caught me last night, is I messed around because this is failing. It should fail soon. Or is it going to make a liar of me? It's going to make a liar of me, isn't it? It would have failed by now. It would have found error blocks from, as said before, 6 0 0 0 0 0 right through to 9F. And so, but it only did it when I booted from the analyzer disk, which I've just done. If I went into Workbench and ran the analyzer disk from Workbench, I didn't see any failures. But it took me a while to realize that. So because it was getting failures in here, that's when I went through all that rigmarole of swapping RAM banks and trying to identify, you know, where the faulty RAM was. And let's say I spent hours on it last night. And got to the point where I was satisfied that if I booted into Workbench and ran this, I got no errors. I thought, well, it's looking good, and it was reliable. I wasn't getting those weird boot issues, and the 3-finger salute was working. I didn't have any crashes, as say just one this morning. Disk copying, fine. That was when when errors used to show up, is when I was disk copying. It would just lock. I could copy disks, no worries. You can see it's gone through one pass already, so no errors found. So it's made a liar of me. I don't know why it was doing it last night. Anyway, that's good news. So I think that the machine potentially, or the accelerator, is potentially going to run fine. I'm not 100% going to rule out that other RAM's faulty, because yeah, there's probably still some other tests I can do. Like we talked about before, is remove the hard card completely, boot from the Workbench floppies, and run the install the full 8 meg RAM and run the analyzer. We could probably still do that. That would be an interesting exercise, because I'm still not 100% convinced that that RAM is faulty or just some sort of addressing issue. So let's do that. Curiosity gets the better of me sometimes, and I just like to try and get to the bottom of things best I can, within reason, you know. My mantra is pretty much just make sure that I can always get back to the way it was, if you know what I mean. Like, if I've got a semi-working system, I just really make sure that I can get back to a semi-working system, if you know what I mean, without changing too much. Definitely don't like to do any sort of permanent changes or anything like that. But I think as long as you sort of document where you were at, where your starting point was, and document any changes, you can always go back to a known good position. And so this will be back to where it was when it was sort of working, but this time, so I'll just remove that jumper. This time we'll do, if it decides it's going to let me boot, we'll do a RAM test. In fact, we could probably do the RAM test without the Workbench disk at this stage. It's just the fact that I was getting failures when I wasn't running the RAM test in Workbench. I was getting failures, and I thought I had to have Workbench running, but we just saw it then, it worked without Workbench, so I'm not 100% sure what was going on there. Yeah, that's tight, that one. If we pull that one out, right, let's see if it'll actually post. Yeah, exit strategy, always a good idea. Right, so it's booting. I'll just boot from the advanced Amiga analyzer. Other half's trying to teach Alice how to use cat door properly. If this works, I'll be a bit annoyed, because this will confirm a suspicion that I had right from the word go, and that what was the RAM on the hard card interfering with the RAM on the accelerator. And so all of this dicking around, if I, you know, possibly had have tried this first, might have been all for naught. So yeah, that could take a little while. I'll just leave that to run for a sec. I'm just going to take a quick break. Oh, thanks, Leon. Inhospitable son, oh boy, 9040ZX. Oh, that sounds interesting, doesn't it? I fixed the clash by removing the top lot of 4 meg. But what that did is it really just led me to believe that there was a conflict. Yes. So removed the top 4 meg and suspected that it was faulty, but turns out it might not be. Remove the top 4 meg, right? So I have 4 on the accelerator and 4 in the hard card, and everything started to run normally as you'd expect. And that's what I did yesterday. And I'm a bit annoyed because this situation was in the back of my mind right from word go when I put this accelerator in. I looked at that RAM on that hard card and I thought, I wonder. And what I should have done, what I should have really taken notice of back right at the start, was the fact that when I had this accelerator card in this machine with the RAM and the hard card, it was still only picking up 8 megs of RAM, not 12. 8 in the accelerator and 4 in the hard card, 12 meg. If I had the accelerator in, it was 8 meg. If I had the accelerator out, it was 4 meg. And so I had lost 4 meg somewhere, right? There we go, it's run through a pass already. So I think the easiest way to... But the other thing that was catching me off guard is the gold RAM, which is in the top bunch of slots, wouldn't work if I had it in the lower slots, you know? Whereas the RAM in the lower slots, if I had the grey RAM, if I had the grey RAM in the lower slots, it would be perfectly fine with the hard card RAM. And then... Yeah, it doesn't look like it's bad though. I've got 8 meg in the accelerator now. We're running the test on 8 meg in the accelerator without the hard card installed. Right, hard card is sitting right there. So I'm kind of kicking myself a little bit, going down the rabbit hole, not really sort of looking into what was reasonably obvious. I think I might have even mentioned it in the very first stream I did with this accelerator, that I could be battling a memory conflict. And I should have gone down that track. All it would have taken was to look on the RAM card on the accelerator to see, yes, it's got 8 megs on it. Plug it in. Do I have 12 meg? No. Well, there's the telltale sign. But anyway, you live and learn. It's one of those things. It's just part of, you know. It's quite a thing, you know, quite a skill to, you know, track down some of these issues without sort of digging in too far as well. I mean, I did dig in to a point, but I didn't go as far as, you know, where I could have gone, recapping and bloody looking for dry solder joints and all that sort of crap. I mean, I really would prefer to eliminate all of this before I go down that route. But I'd say this thing's fine. So I've got a few options here. One is if I want hard drives, if I want to put that hard card back in, I pull the 4 meg out, the gold 4 meg, and I run with 8 meg, and you know, happy as Larry. But that seems like a waste of 4 megs of RAM, which can't be used in any other card that I've got. That RAM is very specific to this accelerator. And so that seems like a bit of a waste. The other option is I could put my Buddha IDE card in this machine, pull the SCSI, leave the SCSI card out, and run the 8 megs on the accelerator and just IDE hard drive and CD-ROM. I'd have to pull that CD-ROM out because that's SCSI CD-ROM. Or I put the original accelerator back in this, the other 030, doesn't have RAM on it. Run with that. If I pulled the RAM out of this accelerator, it would go to waste. Unless I sell it on eBay for $200 and something $50 per stick. US. Yes, I can, but then that RAM would be floating around with no job as well, if you know what I mean. $150 per stick. Well, I'm really pleased that this is checking fine. Yep, so I could pull the RAM out of the hard card, that's another option. But I'm not sure where I put that RAM then. So I'm thinking whack the other accelerator into here and just use this machine with this SCSI controller all set up. It's all set, ready to go. And then maybe put this 030 in another machine with the Buddha and just have that as a separate entity, you know, just build another machine. I think I could find another Amiga 2000 around here somewhere. Might be able to. But that says to me that this card is 100% working. I also wonder whether just the reseating of these RAM sims as well might have been a contributing factor. Because the funny thing is this would run okay for quite some time. You've seen it on stream, it would run okay for a while. And then like I put the fan on it and it sort of got better, and I thought maybe it's a heat issue, and then eventually it locked up even when the fan was on it. And yeah, it's been an interesting trip. It's happy as Larry, isn't it? I just think it's easier to put the hard card back in, because if I go down the IDE route, it's chuck the Buddha in there. You know, I've got to pull the optical drive out, put an IDE one in, and yeah, dick around. Then again, if you look at these, how these are configured, I don't necessarily have to pull the optical drive, this SCSI optical drive. What I could do is with these, is that the SCSI, or the optical drive here, these two floppies and the power supply are all on their own sub chassis. You can just lift that holus bolus out of the machine and just plonk another sub chassis back in with the IDE optical, a couple of good floppies, good power supply, and away you go. You know, so there's heaps of options to where I can go with this. It's just a matter of deciding which way I'm going to go. But I'm tempted to I'll have a think about it. But in the meantime, I think that pulling the 4 meg out of the Accelerator and using the hard card 4 meg in the meantime is an option. It's passing the memory test just fine. So yeah, that'll sit and stew for a little bit in the subconscious, I think, as to what I'm going to do there. But I really wanted to sort of get some gaming done, really. I'm not really in the mood for rebuilding another Amiga on stream just today, but maybe during the week we could do a little rebuild. I'd like to have a look at that Amiga 2500 as well, with the little 020 accelerator in it. But I don't know about that, Mr. Xeon, actually. I watched some long plays. Yep. No, I watched some long plays, and I don't think, well, I know that game is not my cup of tea at all. I enjoyed the little mini game thing of, you know, chasing ships around and firing cannons at them. The battle mechanic, the fencing mechanic is just crap. You know, like the 2 long plays I looked at, they're both like not really sure. I think you just run into them pretty much, and you can do your high hit, your low hit, and hold the button and it does a long hit, more powerful hit. But it seems to me that everyone is confused with the mechanic of that fencing side of it, and the rest of the gameplay does not take my fancy in the slightest, and I think that's probably why I've never played it. I've seen people play it before, and it's like meh. To me, that is. It's a personal preference. It's like, no, I don't think so. I think this guy was saying it was the same on the C64. You kind of just walk up and you get close enough, and I think a lot of it's to do with whether you get that bonus skill at the start, fencing, you know, sword fighting skill. I think there's a lot of it's actually computer controlled. You've obviously got your movement back and forward, but as far as the striking is concerned, it's sort of almost like a button mash. I don't know. Apparently even with the deluxe version it was a little bit like that on the PC. Yeah, I don't know. But that's not the main issue that I've got with it. The main issue is just the general gameplay is not my cup of tea. So, yeah, sorry about teasing it on that one. Yeah. No, it's... nope, doesn't do it for me. I noticed that you don't have to actually do those sea battles. You can just run your ship straight at the other one, and you end up having the sword fight on the ship to take it over. You don't have to sort of blast the ship into oblivion. You can, but yeah. I thought I might... yeah, I noticed you could do that. I thought I might play a little bit of Eye of the Beholder, Dungeon Crawler. I've created a party and then saved it. Yeah, I noticed that. Sometimes you just sort of got to run away if the other ship's got too many crew, eh? And yes, there is a button. I think it's on the keyboard for hoisting full sails. So yeah, it's an okay game. It's just one of those things. It's not really. But I thought, Eye of the Beholder. It's one that I remember from back in the day, and I remember playing it on my Amiga 500. And so thought we'll give that a bit of a bash, and I found my Stunt Car Racer saves, and I might play a little bit of that. What else? I don't know. Just have a wee look around some of the games and whatnot. The other thing I can do with this machine is I can burn a CDR. I tested that this morning, is burn a CDR from my PC and transfer files that way, because it's not easy to transfer files onto this machine. There's no network, no USB, floppy drives are too small. I don't have my zip drive here at the moment, which I'll grab that next time I see it. Next time I'm out the garage having a rummage around, I'll grab my zip drive. It can be quite handy. This SCSI zip. And yeah, and there's no compact flash. Yeah. I don't know, hang on. Oh yeah, there's a SCSI connector on the back of this. SCSI connector on the back of the hard card, so yes, the zip drive is an option for sure. But yeah, 11 passes, full complement of RAM. Oh yeah. Yeah, you need to get into it, Mr. Mev. So, I just need to pull the RAM. Oh yeah, they're hard to come by. There were a couple on Trade Me a while back. They got snapped up, those SCSI zip drives. They got snapped up. I had my eye on them, and they weren't overly expensive. I think they went for like $30 each, which it sounds a bit, but I mean, they are hard to come by, and they're so handy with the Amigas. It's so handy. Yeah, and so the parallel ones aren't so useful, but yeah, the parallel ones are quite good for a PC. Right, you're going to have your RAM extracted one more time, and then we will think about, because I don't want to waste that RAM. Look at it. Isn't it just beautiful? But out you come in the meantime, because you don't play well with your mates in the bloody hard card. Do you blame me for that? That was funny because I had no idea if that would work. You know, booting an Amiga 500 from an A590 with a SCSI zip drive attached to it. No idea if it would work. I couldn't find any videos on it, and I thought, bugger it, I'll just do some science and see if it works, and it did. I thought, oh, I'll do a video on that. Jeez, does that mean I'm like an influencer or something? That would be sad. It's like those videos that bloody LGR does, eh? Or who else does them when you go in the prices? It's like, is it Phil's Computer Lab? He mentioned it, I think. He says, oh, I'll do this video, the prices on this stuff will just go through the roof instantly. Do you reckon maybe I should have, Mev, my strategy should have been keep it to myself for a while, buy up all the zip SCSI drives, then release the video. That would make business sense, wouldn't it? Right, are you going to go? Are you going to behave yourself, mister? Yep. Yeah, well this is SCSI only. Oh, you can't get SCSI floppy drives, can you? This is full SCSI. What I could do is I could put my SCSI bloody CD changer on it as well, with a SCSI zip drive. I think I did have it set up similar to that. It was probably on Amigos somewhere. I'd never heard of SCSI floppies. Never heard of them. Not to say they aren't around, just that would be cool. Right, I'm going to have a quick break. I found my little Alice Be Right Back video, if you like to watch Alice as a kitten. And Andrea is trying to teach her how to use a cat door, because she had a big fright. Something fell over next to her and she had a big fright. This is early on, and she went barreling up the cat door at 1 billion miles an hour. The cat door was locked. She still got through it. She slammed into it so hard. We lost her for the night. It's when she was basically a kitten. And she's been a bit wary of the cat door ever since. And so we've had to have it held open with a piece of tape, and she'll come and go that way, but she won't like put her head in to push the door. She can go out. She hooks the cat door with her claw, pulls it back, and then whoosh, under to go out. But coming in is it's a bit higher from the step. There's a door step and then down onto the porch, and she has to stretch a bit more, and she won't push through. And so it's a microchip one, right? So only she can come and go. But we've had to disable. We're taking the battery out of the cat door. We've taped it open and put it on and taped down the little latch so it'll just come and go. You know, like she still won't use it. She got a fright. Oh, okay. What cables are they? Let me check my Discord. Oh, yeah, I've got some of those Xeon. I just put a couple on there. Thanks, anyway. I've got that capture card for you, know, that TV card for you as well. Yeah. I've got a bag of those cables, by the way. I'll put it aside in case you're not there. Yeah, look. I think that's what you're talking about there. They are female Molex to male hard drive and floppy Molex. When I know you're back, I'll mention that. I've got heaps of them. Thanks anyway. I'll leave you with Alice as a kitten just for a little bit. Berg adapters, yeah. I call them floppy power cable, power Molex. I had never heard of a Berg adapter until you mentioned it a month ago. Had no idea what you were talking about. Okay, yeah, I've got heaps. So that's what I call floppy Molex power and hard drive Molex power. Mini Molex, yeah, okay, mini Molex. Berg, I'm not sure where that came from. That's like an American term, is it? I'd never heard of it. Their real name, is that what they're called? Is that their actual official name? Oh, okay. I thought it was because they look like a mini iceberg. I think someone mentioned that online. Right, back in a sec. Rightio. Oh yeah, bird connector. Oh, Berg Electronics Corporation. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. I thought someone was serious when they said, oh, they thought it's because it looked like a mini iceberg. Oh, okay. No worries. I need to have a rummage around. I think I've got some different types around as well. Okay. I think it's probably a good time to settle in for a game. Have you seen Eye of the Beholder before? Have you played it? Oh, coffee. So last night I set up a party. Should be a little bit more comfortable. Noise cancellation. These Amigas are noisy bloody things. That's one thing I like about, well, there's many things I like about the Amiga 500. But one of them is it's completely silent, apart from the clicking of the floppy drive. So I've got Boromir, my fighter. Roin, who is a fighter thief, sorry. Yeah. Not too sure about the setup of this party, but we've got Galadriel, my female elf, of course. Ranger. And we've got a mage, half elf, female. Fighter is a human male. Just looking at that subtle noise. It's like footsteps or something. I was going to put the BGM on, but I think there's some subtle sounds in this which might get drowned out. It's been a long time since I played this, so yeah. She's got a bloody... Oh, stop missing. I think I had this issue in the last game I started of this. Oh my god. I just took standard rolls, pretty much. I did the odd re-roll if I got a really bad roll to generate the characters. I didn't do any... you can just bump all their stats up. Seems to be willy-nilly. I don't like that. It seems like cheating. I just took the rolls that I got. So she needs to have a couple of... I'll collect more knives as I go. I don't think we've got any other spare knives. You might like this, Xeon, because it's got some puzzle elements to it. Should be, I think, right up your alley. Oof, 8. Good one. Yeah, this has this does have puzzle elements to it. Getting down in health there. Yeah, not too sure, Mev. I've never really played this, you know, apart from just using the mouse and keyboard. Can I camp? Can I rest? Rest until healed. This we could be here for a week. 2 days at least. I don't know, more than 2 days. Yeah. I was just wondering whether that actually, whether I'll come out of this hungry, if you know what I mean. $100. So this runs on a stock Amiga 500, no problem whatsoever. It's what I remember playing it on. And so the 030 accelerator in this machine is complete waste because it does nothing to. Actually, I should have nothing to the performance at all. Yeah. Probably should have learnt these spells, eh? What if I don't have a cleric? Scribe scrolls. Okay. So should be able to. You only have one save slot. You know, like if I go save, it's just, yeah, okay, save it. When you go load, it just loads this one. Just so it'd be nice to have a few slots, wouldn't it? Yeah. I wonder if I can pick the lock. Not quite sure how I do that. Is that the way I... Oh, that might be the way I came, is it? Yeah. Yeah, this brings back memories, this game. I used to play this a bit. Ah, yeah, see that? That one just looked slightly different. Secret. It smells terrible in here. Poison dart, is it? Dart. I think that's where, yeah, that's where I came in. Oh, did I? I walked into that dart, into the knife as it was flying. Usually should have had a cleric. I'm not too sure how big a deal that's going to be. Oh, I did it again. Walked into my own. You gotta be careful of that. Walked into my own. Whoops. What did I do there? Oh. Yeah, you can scone yourself with your own bloody dagger. You walk forward just after you fired it. I think that's where I came in, wasn't it? Get a bit disorientated sometimes, especially. Oh, hang on. Is that a dead end? I used to check the walls too. I'm heading north. Buggers. Sneaky, aren't they? Should be learning how to use the spells. Okay, so this way I haven't been. Let's try a magic missile. I guess now that he's got the shield, he can't equip knives. Let's give the girls knives. Stash. Girls. That'd be fine. It's not. Yes, it is. Must be. Down. A key. Ooh. Silver key. North, south, and east doors. Let's do the east door. Let's try the north door. Do I have to actually physically... Do I have to physically put the key? Yes. Alright. This is where the puzzle element comes into it. I think we heard a rock over there. Who's got a rock? Anyone? You do. What happens if I just go down? Ah, go down. It's a ladder back. So probably get a lay of the land as far as the holes that lead to separate rooms, I'll assume. What's this? Potion of healing. Okay. So you got So if I go up the ladder and head east, there's a hole. And then there's another hole to the south of that, which leads to this room. And another one to the north. Is that right? Yeah. East, then south, north. East. So that one, north, and there will be another one through that wall on the other side, I assume. The same room? Yes. Yeah. Does that take me back to the previous level? Yes, it does. Yeah. Oof. Oh, that's that same bloody... Oh, I took full damage that time. There's a puzzle for you. Do I want to take full damage again? All of these holes leading to us to the same dungeon though, right? Almost feel like I need to map this out, find out which hole is not. It's going to lead to the same fate. Oh. So there's probably a key somewhere. Right. Do we have another? Oh, she's unconscious. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Probably be like 2 weeks here to heal her. Oh, so each time you use a spell, it needs to be rememorized. Is that the way I'm reading that? I used it before. We rememorize it. If you're still there, Mr. Bogan, do you want to see if you can figure this puzzle? It's only the second level. I'm getting close to mapping. Some verticals there. That was just dead end, right? Definitely nothing here. Let me get stuck on a simple. Oh, I didn't mean to go that far. Okay, I'm missing. There it goes. Yeah, I should have put the rock on there again. It's now. It's horrendously injured. These guys have spent a few hours in these dungeons now, just resting. Probably more time resting than anything else. 120 hours rested. Right, heading north. Has gained a level of experience. Gloon has gained a level of experience. What's that? Something. Ah, put a blade in there. Is that? Yep. Yeah. Got it that time. What's that? Potion of giant strength. Can you put these in your... Yes, you can. Something opened. Sounded like it opened. It's the remaining key. direction. There was another. There was two doors that looked like they had monsters behind them, but maybe was it just that one there? Yeah. Could be a little bit disorientating for you guys watching too, because sometimes I'm just sidestepping, like strafing, and other times I'm turning. Okay. No idea where I went. Travel markers. Which way did I come in? I was facing there, wasn't I? So yeah, this gets messy. So I've gone back. I'm going to leave that there. Oops. Did I pick it up? Where'd it go? Oh, I'm going to keep that there as a marker. Oh, hang on. This is playing silly buggers. So I'm heading south, right? And if I walk towards it, if I go back, it spins me around to west. See that? South. And then if I go here, turn around, heading north, east. It's spinning me on the spot right here. So that's the travel marker. So I'm heading west. Go in. I'm heading west. So east will take me back. South. Oh. Oh, crap. Oh man, if you're disorientated watching this, it's going to get even worse now because it's just spinning me on the spot here. South. Something there. There you go. That's, what did that do? Took my dagger, did it? So that's an invisible doorway. And if I swing around to the east, it'll take me back out. We should see, and that spun me around again, so the door is to the north. The west takes me through the portal. East. Cool. Awesome. That's me back there. Is that right? Oh, it's this. Oh no, I've been here. Another key. Oh no, she's the ranger. So this is just basically a rectangle with a path between. Well, I think I might just save and come back to this. So that's the thing with this game. A little bit samey, you know, like the dungeons. They do change later, but sort of quite samey. But you know, it's of its age. Leave something, a sign, a rock. Do I have any rocks? Yeah, I do. Just as a pointer. Bacon? No. This is a dead end. Yeah. Ah, keep coming out somewhere else. Not coming out the other end. Let's see. Yep. So you go in, if you go in this way, which is by the rock, you come out this way down here. You come out here. Oh, wait, hold on. The rock. Okay. So that's like a mirror. See, oh, am I getting spun around here as well? Yep. I see. I see what you're doing. I'm being spun around. You got to watch that compass, eh? West, west, go. West. Heading west, turn right, head north. Yep. North, north, west, east. Turn right round. It's flipping me. Okay, let's go through here. Heading south. So showing west, head in there, still heading west. But I'm back. Charlie put it back in. West wall. Man, this is confusing. In. There are two of these types of oh, it's doing my head in. Can save. I do remember figuring that out back in the day. I'm going to try and avoid using a walkthrough, but we'll come back to it. These were the loads I was looking for Stunt Car Racer. So I do remember getting into Division 4, which is starting to get really tough. But I got into Division 4 with a damaged car, and so I wanted to try and complete Division 3 with no holes in the chassis, because the holes in the chassis get brought forward to the next division. And so the whole idea is to try and get through this with no holes. It's tough. Get the buffet with him right here, because that would be instant hole in chassis material, because he'll just knock me off the track. Yeah, you can't go too fast here. You fall into that hole that I just jumped over there. Shit. Oh no! Knocked me off the track. It just takes contact, and the opposition seems to be able to just knock you off, so I'm screwed here. Touch wood, the computer is running reliably, isn't it? Stable as. I'm pleased that investment in the Accelerator card wasn't a waste of money. Got to be more aggressive to try and keep in front of this guy. Yeah, I think I used to play it on the 040. It doesn't. It's not that much faster, really. I've got this in turbo mode, believe it or not. No, I'm going too fast for this. It's one of those games that was frame rate locked. You know, like if you don't have the WHD load version, you run the standard version on this. Even on the 040, it just ran the same as what it would on the 500. But this WHD load version's got the turbo function, which does make a difference. What I should do is grab these save files and take them across to the 040. And we'll see how much faster it is. I think it is quicker, but it's not that much quicker than this. This game's always sort of looks a little bit slow. Still quite playable though. Yeah, definitely this hacked stuff is great. This sort of thing. Yeah. Gotta be careful not to go too fast over the start line, because you basically jump right into a hole if you go too fast over here. Oh, right there. I think it's possible to probably clear that. But I think you'd have to be doing like 1,000,000 miles an hour coming around the corner, and you know, you'd have to be full blast turbo coming around the corner, and that gets really dicey. You end up getting crossed up around the corner and actually quite a way ahead of him, so I can afford to just take it easy. Don't crash in there. I'd won the race and crashed into that hole. I have to start again. I can't have that hole smashed. Why didn't I? I was just going a little bit too fast across the start line. Oh man. Oh, this stuff is hacked up the wazoo. Yeah, I think it's considered abandonware these days, isn't it? Is any worries about all freely available online. Anyway, most of the software I play, I actually own the boxed copies of, so if they really want to, come around and make sure I own it, they're welcome. Landing. Did you wing it? No. Thank you very much for coming. One more go. One more go, and then move on to something else. Did I choose? Hold on. Oh, I didn't load, did I? Got to use a bit of boost to get out in front of them, because I don't want to be side by side dueling it out on those stepping stones. Right, about 140. This across the start line, or even that's I see. 140 for the stepping stones and about 140 for the start line. That's the thing with this game, it's not always about, you know, going absolutely as fast as you possibly can because of these. I'm 600 ahead of him, so to take it easy. It's what I said last time until the start line too fast. Or the finish line too fast. Hard landing. You can actually get a hole from doing a ultra hard landing too. Is this the end? Slow, slow. Even though I've won the race. Wait on. Division 3. I wonder if I saved partway through. Is that working? Raced 3. I've only raced 1. How does that work? Oh god. Cheers, Mr. Xeon. Catch you later on. This one's quite tough. Do you have to hit this one first? I can't remember now. Yeah, you do. Oh, that's it. I'm not sure I can get back from that. No, he's miles ahead, so I've got to play catch up here. Pretty much the only way to win this is just to play very aggressively, but it's very risky. Yeah, I don't think I have enough speed for this. This is going to go badly, I think. nearly breaking the joystick there. Come on. Oh yeah. Right, aggressive. Boost all the way around here. Alright, maybe not. Okay, boost all the way down here. Oh jeez. Slowly catching on. Am I going to be too fast for this? Might be too fast for this. Yeah, maybe. Here he is. Boost. Boost. Probably going to use all my boost. Go, go, go. Oh, more speed. That is just by the skin of my teeth there. Let's go. Jeez, that crack's getting quite long too, isn't it? Right, let's go. See you, buddy. Oh, is this car going to survive? That's the next question. Stop. No, no. No. Ooh, that's game over. I don't even think this car's going to survive anyway. Yeah, that's tough. It's going to be a tough ask to get through that with no damage. Anyway, that's enough of that. Well, I'm pleased about the computer. I'm probably yeah, I need to put a bit more thought into what I'm going to do with this machine, or how I'm going to configure my accelerators and my A2000s that I've got. Actually tempted to go and look for my Buddha. What have you? Are you buying stuff? Is that what you mean about your savings, or lack of? Yeah, it's pissing down here. Pretty murky. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Gotcha. Oh, I thought you were like lamenting your spending ability. Eating into savings. I think I'll go and have a rummage and find the Buddha IDE. And yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll use the Buddha for IDE in another Amiga 2000, where I'll put this accelerator, because I can whack to 8 megs. I can put the full complement of 8 megs into this accelerator. I can run the Buddha to give me IDE, whether I run it with a compact flash IDE adapter or a physical IDE hard drive, IDE bloody CD-ROM. Oh yeah, Evil C. Have you been here long? I'm just about to head off, but not sure if you need an update on the state of the accelerator in this machine, the one that I bought off our friend on Discord. Yeah, pretty much up to speed. Oh yeah. Do you want the short story? The status of this? And you'll probably laugh because you if you saw the earlier streams, yeah, yeah. I won't give you the long version anyway because it's just too long. When I first put this card in, it went through my mind that because I've got 4 megs on the hard card, right? Give you a bit of a view. Accelerator here, hard card with 4 megs of RAM. When I put this in, first time I put this in, I thought there's a risk that there could be like a memory overlap, and I did have issues with this card right from the start. I think you've probably been on some of those streams. Long story short is, if I had have taken close notice of what sysinfo was telling me, so no matter whether I had so there's 8 megs on this card, right? 4 megs on this one, so sysinfo should have been telling me 12. Well, I didn't pick it up. I didn't look closely enough, and it was telling me I had 8. 8 and 4 is 12, and then it tells me I have 8. So I think what was happening is there was an overlay of 4 megs of RAM, you know what I mean, in the same address space, and it was causing issues. And anyway, I didn't, it was in the back of my mind, but I didn't sort of think that was the primary. I actually thought there was faulty RAM because the memory tester did pick up faulty RAM. But I think that was a red herring. Anyway, what I've done is, short story, I've taken 4 meg out of here, and she's as happy as Larry. So I've got 4 meg in here, happy as Larry, 4 meg there, happy as Larry. It's been running rock solid. I was having all sorts of problems with this card, causing weird crashes and weirdness with bloody floppy drive access, and then you do a reboot, and then it wouldn't boot from the hard drive. It would just come up to your insert disk. Yeah, yeah. So what I didn't do to start with is I didn't check how much RAM this bloody accelerator's got. And so I just assumed it was 4 meg. I don't, yeah, it was. I could have saved myself a lot of time, put it that way. Living and learning. I should have remembered that 8 meg limit, and then, by rights should have put 2 and 2 together, but I didn't at the time, and went down the rabbit hole with it. Went down the rabbit hole chasing a red herring. But yeah. So interesting, some of the symptoms of the computer behavior. The funny thing is that sometimes the computer would run fine, no problem. It would go for quite a while. I'd think it was sorted, and then it would the problems would crop up again, and it was like, and it did go through my mind early on as well. Oh, maybe I should remove the hard card and just run the machine from floppies, which I did, and it was going okay, but I thought it was just one of those times it was going okay. And then, of course, I want to run WHD load games and all that sort of thing on this, so I whacked the hard card back in. So, yeah. I should have followed my hunch right from the word go, and actually, like, it wasn't until I pulled the hard card, the accelerator, and had a really good look at the RAM card on there to see what model it was, and it's 8 meg. It's an 8 meg bloody, and it was fully populated. And so I just assumed it was a 4 meg, and I thought, you know, because that's what sysinfo was telling me. Yeah. 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 So the data potentially could be stored in both sets of RAM, I guess so. But when it goes to retrieve it, it might, as you say, it might interfere with timings and things like that. So yeah. Oh well, you know, I'm pleased to say that the, you know, the accelerator and the RAM seems to be good. I've run a RAM test on the full complement of 8 meg in the accelerator when I removed this hard card, and I just boot off the funny thing is when I was booting off that disk there, that's my advanced Amiga analyzer, it was picking up RAM errors even with this hard card. Hang on, I might have had the hard card in there when I was doing that. Yeah, I was having issues with the floppy disks, even just like copying disks and things like that. So I guess that's using DMA as well, right? But yeah, I mean, it was. I certainly could have got to the bottom of the issue a lot quicker, a lot sooner than what I did. But yeah, at least you know, at least I didn't sort of throw my hands up and go, oh, the RAM's all faulty, because there is a bunch of 4 meg sims that I've taken out I actually thought was faulty. The weird thing about it is that even without the hard card in, if I put, let's say we've got set A and set B of 4 meg sims, and so set A is at the bottom, set B is at the top. If I swap them, the machine wouldn't boot, which was weird. And my memory tester was telling me I had bad RAM and I had all sorts of issues. So I'm pleased I didn't sort of give up and say, oh, you know, the accelerator's faulty, or it's got bad RAM or whatever. It's, yeah. So I think if I had to put a little bit of time right at the start, sort of exploring what the configuration was that I had, I even talked about it right at the start, as maybe I should just take the hard card out and boot off Workbench floppies and run the analyzer from there. And that would have shown me probably right there in the end that everything was fine. But, you know, you live and learn. Live and learn. Yeah. But that's where I'm at with it. So the thing is I've got 4 mega RAM sitting out of this accelerator now, which is sort of almost a waste. So what I want to do is put the other 030. So I was just using this machine really to test this. My thinking was I had an 030 accelerator in here. That's an Amiga one. And I thought I'll use this machine as a test bed because it's got all the 030, the MMU and everything installed in the Workbench, and it's ready to go. I should be able to just slot the other one in, right, and be off laughing. Not taking into account the fact that the Commodore one didn't have RAM on it. This one does, and that's complicated. I mean, it shouldn't be too complicating, but it did sort of muddy the waters a little bit for me. And sort of, so it wasn't quite a valid test. Probably would have been better if I had chosen another machine that had a hard card that didn't have RAM in it, and I wouldn't have had these issues. So it was a little bit naive of me to think I could just pop another 030 accelerator in and be fine, you know, because as I say, I didn't take the RAM into consideration, but yeah, it's been an interesting little experiment. I didn't waste too much time on it, really. I spent a couple of hours last night messing around with swapping RAM chips in and out. I still think it's quite weird that, like, if you swap bank A and bank B, the physical RAM chips, it doesn't like it. Not quite sure what's going on there, but I can thankfully say that this card seems to be rock solid. The accelerator is accelerating and it's ramming, not to its full complement, but so what I'm planning on doing is I'll put the Commodore accelerator back in here. So I'll have 4 meg on here, fast RAM. And this card, the accelerator, I'll populate 8 meg, whack it in another machine, and maybe use a Buddha IDE for an IDE hard drive and an IDE optical drive. I think that's the way I'm going to go with it. And that way all the RAM's being used, and yeah, there's no RAM sitting around being wasted, if you know what I mean. So that's where I'm at with it. So quite pleased that it's not faulty. Very pleased about that. Wasn't a waste of money. Geez, I've seen the prices that people are asking for that RAM. Oh, bloody hell. It was like $250 US for a 1 meg stick. I think potentially the guy's fishing, but I don't know. They are ultra specific. I mean, I don't even think... See, so this card is a GVP, you know, the Great Valley products, and so is the hard card. But from what I read is that the RAM and the accelerator is different to the RAM and the hard card, even though they're both GVP. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but it looks potentially like the original stuff is like bloody hen's teeth. So I'm pleased to say that the RAM seems to be all good. All 8 meg seems fine, and the accelerator's working fine. So, you know, it was a bit of a gamble, and I was worried to start with because of the problems I was having. But got there in the end. It's all good. She's been going all day. I mean, stream time is nearly 3 hours, but I did have an OBS issue, and so add another half out of that. So these are in the accelerator. They're 30 pin. I wonder, do you think, I mean, I'd have to look into it, but could it be possible that this hard card could take more sort of just standard RAM, you know, like standard 30 pin RAM? Because if that was the case, I could probably chuck another 4 ones in it and get 8 meg on that hard card, but I'm just not 100% sure. In fact, there's not a lot of documentation for the accelerator either. I'm really just going off what I found on like the Big Book of Amiga Hardware, and there was another site. Yeah, so pretty sure they're 30s. These are 30s as well, but these are ultra special bloody, you know, rocking horse shit. It's like so yeah, I might have a look at that. But as far as documentation goes, it's just saying Yeah, Big Book of Amiga Hardware, and there was another site had a bit of information, but I couldn't find a manual for it. So I was relying on information that I got off those sites. So they did have jumper information, things like that, but it was still a little bit of ambiguous information, and people just not too sure. It just seemed like people weren't too sure about some of the jumper settings. Anyway, the main jumper, the one jumper on the RAM card, is J5, and that just says is there 4 or 8 megs. And I don't know if you can run it without any RAM at all. I did try that. I didn't like it. Yeah. Yep, that is. It is the got so many tabs open from my research last night. It's the you actually identified it when I was looking at buying it. A3001, Impact A3001. But the card itself has, what does it say? Great Valley Products Inc. And then the model number is A2000-030 Rev4, which kind of leads you on a bit of a wild goose chase. It's like if you Google that model number, you get nothing related. It is, so that's the Big Book of Amiga Hardware. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. This has got the 8 meg daughter board card, daughter card. Yeah. And so I couldn't find actual manuals for either of them, either the Accelerator or the daughter card, the RAM card. I think you sent through a link early on to me about the Big Book of Amiga Hardware. And that's where I've got one of the references. So, officially it looks like it's an A3001 Impact. Yeah, but there's not a lot of other information around for that. And the card is called a RAM 8. RAM board designed to connect to the Impact 3001/A2000-030 accelerator. And somewhere I read about something to do with the type of RAM. 2 types of RAM cards were made, and each is configured for a specific speed of memory module configuration. The original, called the RAM 8, can support 4 and 8 of auto-config memory only, so you cannot depopulate the board. It contains 8 times 30 pin SIM slots, and for the 25 to 33 MHz models uses a specific nibble mode 30 pin SIM types 4 times per bank. Nibble mode, so I think that's potentially what I've got. The modules were popular on the 030, Mac and other platforms, and complement the burst mode of the 030. 50 MHz version of the RAM 8 card is an exception. On the memory type, it uses page mode DRAM.
RAM 8 memory design uses 80 nanosecond for 25/28 megahertz, 70 nanosecond for 33, and 60 nanoseconds for 50. Yeah. Well, I've got myself some dumb expensive RAM, haven't I? I mean, it was a bit of a punt, and I think we even talked about it. I think you even said, oh, just for the RAM alone, it'd be worth buying, you know? It wasn't overly cheap, really. I mean, it was probably cheap in terms of what you pay these days for an accelerator. But what I have to bear in mind is that card probably cost me like 1/6 of my entire Amiga collection. So I'm kind of like, ooh, do I want to spend that money on that card? You know, and I've got like 3 030 accelerators. It's not like I needed another one, but I just sort of thought it'd be quite nice to build out some of these Amiga 2000s, you know, to make some nice machines. And I might consider sort of selling off some of the Accelerator 2000s. Of, you know, look at that down the track at some stage. But it seems to me that the Amiga 2000s are not really sought after as much as some of the other models. But I actually really like the 2000. I like the upgradability and flexibility of it. I think it's great, and I like that, you know, you can just use it like you would an Amiga 500, because that Amiga 500 was my first Amiga, and I had a lot of fun with that machine. And I like the fact that you can just treat it like an Amiga 500, you know, and it feels like an Amiga 500. But then you can, you know, switch on the accelerators and have some fun, more fun. So yeah. No, I've enjoyed the little rabbit hole that I went down. I put it down to a learning experience. I've learned about. It's good. So yeah, I don't know where to from here. I'll probably build up some. I want to sort of do something with that A2500 with the 020 on it. You know, sort of thinking about having a floppy based system just to have a wee play with. You know, just to go through and remember what it was like to have a floppy based system. A little bit spoilt with all these hard drives. Hey, it's like probably should go and slum it for a little bit, the way I used to. So that's something I haven't really looked into. I mean, I'd love to do like some sort of Unix thing with it. I'd have to look into it. Yeah, from what I read is on this card, on this GVP, apparently you can put Unix boot ROMs into it. I've got an accelerator. I think that 040 and the Amiga down below, this one sitting on top of it, I think that's got a Unix, because when you hold the 2 mouse buttons and you boot that machine, there is an option, or some sort of key combination or something. There's an option for Unix boot, and I'd really love to do that. But yeah, so I need to put a bit of research into it. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, that's right. Hold down the right mouse button or something like that and boot it. I could show you actually. Well, I think it's that one. One of the other symptoms that I noticed with this problem I've been having, which is the three finger salute, control Amiga, didn't work. So that's a little, telltale sign that you might be having, if you ever, are not sure whether you've got memory overlapping or something. That's a little telltale sign, I think, is you can't warm boot the computer from the keyboard. Interesting. And weird keyboard issues. I mean, it's going to cause all sorts of crap, right? Yeah. For that SCSI drive to spin up. I think it's just going to boot. I was holding the right mouse button. And it would be nice too to, once I get these computers set up and configured the way I want them, is to actually put the lids on them. I mean, the 040 down here, that's got the lid on it. It's all set. It's got a gaping hole where the floppy, the missing floppy drive is. I've got the blanking plate for it, but I'm actually using compact flash in there, so it's quite handy having the compact flash available just to out. And I need to sort out a solution for compact flash to make sure that it's easy enough to access. And I don't think it liked me holding that right mouse button. I'm just going to check that it's actually booting for a start, which it should be. It's been bloody ultra reliable, this thing. Oh, I'm on the wrong switch. Is it left button? There's peeing down here. Yeah, maybe it's not this card. Anyway, when I find it, I'll let you know. But I've definitely seen a Unix boot menu on one of these cards. Like one of the ones that I've got, it's there. You know, it's almost like I could. I've got the ROMs and whatnot. I could do it. I don't know. I don't know what's involved, but at this stage, but it could be worth messing around with.
It's brutal and inexcusable. It's brutal and
Anyway,
inexcusable.
I think I'll leave it there. I can't see anyone to raid, and there's only 2 of us here, so there's Amiga Live, I guess. Well,
Okay, let's do it.
thanks for calling in and saying g'day. We'll catch up with you later in the week anyway.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, yeah, good one. Alright, mate. Thanks all for watching, and thanks for keeping me company. I'll be back during the week with more Amiga. I've got that bloody iMac over there. It needs to clean up and just fire test. I might do that at some stage. Problem is I know nothing. I know nothing. Anyway, catch us later on. See ya.
It's brutal and inexcusable.